Welcome to day 486 of our DSO journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein, here with my twin brother Brian. And remember, these videos are being sponsored by NFT Tech. They are an investor in DSOFi. So Brian, what's been going on with Mark Cuban?
Yeah, so yesterday we talked a little bit about what was happening with Coinbase. It wasn't yesterday, it was a couple of days ago, where the SEC has charged a former Coinbase employee of insider trading. And they also issued a separate complaint where they said 9 out of 25 of the tokens listed on Coinbase are considered securities according to their definition. Mark Cuban kind of criticized the SEC in a tweet yesterday, and it was in a reply to Senator Pat Toomey, where Toomey himself criticized the SEC for not making their views clear before initiating enforcement action against people or against companies. So basically, Coinbase is listing 9 securities according to the SEC, but the SEC never really like gave any kind of warning or said, "Hey, these tokens could be a security." There's nothing for Coinbase to really go on, and that Pat Toomey was criticizing that. And Mark Cuban chimed in, and he replied to that Toomey tweet, and he agreed. He said, "Think this is bad? Wait till you see what they come up with for registration of tokens. That's the nightmare that's waiting for the crypto industry. How else do you keep thousands of lawyers employed and create reasons to ask for more taxpayer money?" And I think he's right. Cuban basically wants to prove that the SEC keeps its rules vague on purpose. They keep them vague on purpose because it's easier to try and try and go after people that way. If they don't know they're doing something wrong, how can they actually prevent themselves from doing something wrong? And I think that crypto industry, they're not against the SEC or even enforcement action or regulation within the crypto space. They're against the SEC having these vague definitions, and that's what Cuban's trying to say.
Yeah, and I agree. I think they both, Toomey and Cuban, both have excellent points here. Uh, you know, the SEC did kind of just go on attack without letting people know what their views were on things. Maybe the SEC should come out and say, these tokens are securities, these coins are securities, but we're gonna lay off any enforcement for the next 6 months so that companies can kind of get in line with what we're saying or argue with what we're saying. Maybe we could have like some kind of meeting and kind of discuss these things rather than just say, oh, these are securities and now we're going after you legally for it.
Yeah, like a public discussion, have a time frame where the public can kind of chime in and give their thoughts on the issue. Uh, I think this is definitely a concern because if the SEC is just going to jump in and start creating new rules without really, I think the issue is more of them charging people for crime. So this individual, even though it was shady as hell,
Yeah.
he was insider trading tokens, and these tokens were not deemed securities, but the SEC basically says, hey, he should know these are securities because they meet these certain guidelines. And I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, I mean insider trading, whether it's because they're securities or whether they're not securities, I don't think it matters. You shouldn't probably be doing that. But from a legal standpoint, I guess if you're insider trading with things that are not considered securities, then I guess there is no illegality around that. I'm not a lawyer, but that's the impression that I'm getting. Which I mean, like I said, you shouldn't be using insider information to profit off of it when the rest of the public can't see that. Again, though, there's no laws in place for this, so to protect those. So I don't know. Like I said, I think a public discussion would be the best way to kind of reconcile this before you start going after people legally.
Yeah. So moving on, yesterday I talked about a really cool NFT project by It's a DEO and DSO. It was a DALL-E, the DALL-E project. DALL-E is a basically an artificial intelligence created by OpenAI, which can take text and transfer it into create an image around that text using the neural network that makes up OpenAI's brain. And it's a DA launched this project and basically sold the first 10 NFTs. And these 10 NFTs got the buyer 4 different versions of whatever text they wanted to input into the DALL-E 2 system, OpenAI system. And he sold all 10. So there's now 40 NFTs out there. They were posted on the AI Mania account. So you can go and check that out. You can go to aimania.nftz.me to see all the NFTs that were created. But AI Mania is DSO's first AI generated NFT series. It's interesting. And its idea is going to expand this. So there's 40 out there right now, but soon there's going to be 1,000.
Wow.
So the way he's going to do this is he will have 480 copies of an NFT for sale for 2 DSO a piece. And each copy will give you the right to 2 images based on the text you provide that will be input into the AI. So 480 plus 480 is 960. We already got 40 NFTs out there. So there will be a total of 1,000 generated AI NFTs when the series is over with. Really cool. The minting site's coming soon. It says, we did one actually, and you'll see it. I'm putting it up on the screen right now. We did twin podcasters discussing identical NFTs. And these are the 4 images that the DALL-E AI came up with just based off of that text. Tell me what you think. I love this idea. I know a few other people that participated thus far: Big Mike R35, Mythil, Tyne, Nordian, JD Armstrong, and of course we did. Love it. What do you think, Ed?
Yeah, there's some really cool things. The ones that they created for our based off of our text were really cool. There are also some really cool ones from Mythil. Mythil, he did one of aliens' first interaction with humans on Earth, and they got some really cool paintings or drawings. I guess you should say digital art back from the AI, and they're all so unique, yet they all kind of incorporate that idea. And there were some other ones too. The Nordian did a really good one, I thought, and it was Salvador Dali style painting of Sisyphus rolling a giant horizontal oriented sand clock on a dystopian cyberpunk hill. And the ones
You
that
can't
came
even
to,
say it.
I
And this
know,
AI is creating art with it.
I know
Crazy.
exactly, and there's awesome. Like some of these things that came back were really really cool, and I love the idea that it's Aditya came up with for this. Whether he sells all of them or not, we'll have to wait and see. But it's a really really cool idea.
Yeah.
So moving on, the social world. Yesterday they announced that their new save draft feature is live. Previously you could save a draft and come back to it and then post it, but now it's interoperable between operating systems. So let's say, for example, you go to the social world on your desktop and you create a post, but you're not sure, it's not exactly how you want it, or you want to save it for later. You can just click save, and then later you can load it up on your mobile device, or you can load up on another computer and bring it back up and then post it. So I love what the social world is doing here. It's something I think was needed. A lot of people like to save drafts. A lot of people are accessing the social world, on multiple devices. So great job, Ado and team. I love the innovation that you keep coming up with. And I don't know how much longer it's going to be, but the social world is kind of moving that direction of becoming a de facto Twitter-like node.
Yeah. And I have 2 things to say here. I think it's brilliant. It's a great way to create a stickiness to this node. So people come here, they save their drafts. They're not going to want to go to another node in order to post because all their drafts are saved here. Number 2, I know I'm going to use this a lot. Right now, like if I come up with like a really great idea for a post that I think, hey, I really want to say this, I usually go into a Google Drive or a Google Notepad and I type it out and I save it. And then if I'm on my phone, then I got to open that up. I got to open up the Social World app. It's just a hassle. So this is going to save a lot of time. I think it's a great, and like I said, it's a great way to add a stickiness to the node.
Yeah, great job, Ado and team. So Invest in Digital, Ash, part of the DSO core team, asked on DSO that if they create a Web3 creators webinar series. Who are the people that the community really wants to see from the DeSo ecosystem in that series? And a lot of people gave great feedback, different people. There's so many people in DeSo who have a vast knowledge of creating on the platform and who have experienced it for over a year. So I think there's plenty of people we let you see. Tyne had a suggestion though, and his suggestion was that there should be a creator series with people not on DeSo, and those creators should be walked through the process of how they can benefit themselves by utilizing DeSo, and how they can also help benefit their audiences by utilizing DeSo. So I think that's a really cool thing. Like, what if you could get some top Instagram influencers or top Twitter influencers to kind of partake in a series where Ash or someone else, maybe even somebody from the DeSo community, walks them through the process of utilizing Web3 and utilizing the DeSo blockchain in order to share their content on Web3.
Yeah, and since you mentioned Tyne, I just want to mention he made a post this morning. He said, "Good news, liver is clear, breathing through." So I know he had some health issues. I'm so happy to see this. Good news. Love
Yeah.
Tyne.
Yeah, congrats, Tyne. Keep healthy. So Salil Sethi is, we talked about him a couple days ago about how he's kind of inching his way into the Ethereum NFT space. He has been for probably a year or so now, but he just wrote his first newsletter, and that newsletter is covering multiple topics around Ethereum NFTs, mostly stats. You know, Salil Sethi, he's a master of stats, and many of you who know him on DeSo know him because of his Open Prosper node, which is essentially the stat node. Them and Altum Base are the two major stat nodes on the DeSo blockchain. So this newsletter covers 5 main topics. Number one, overall NFT market now compared to 1 month ago and 1 year ago. And it's kind of interesting. It was actually not the same. The NFT market now compared to a year ago really surprised me. Even though we're in a huge downturn right now, it's still well above a year ago. So that was surprising to me. I guess a lot's happened in the NFT space within a year.
Well, the crazy thing is, let me cut you off, is that I think we're only at about 25% of the peak in terms of actual transactions within the NFT space on Ethereum. So, I mean, that says a lot. We're at 25% of the peak, but we're still way above where we were a year ago.
Yeah, exactly. And Salil also, he touched on the NFT collections with the most volume yesterday, and I think this post was made yesterday, so it's probably from 2 days ago. Also, the most profitable NFT trades from the previous day. Notable NFT flips, both buying and selling the same NFT within 24 hours. So he kind of concentrated on some of these flips where people are buying and then reselling them. Are they making a profit? How much profit are they making? And then finally, notable NFT flippers. Who are these people who are flipping these NFTs? He covers that, discusses that in detail. Great newsletter. Great job by Salil Sethi. I'm looking forward to more of these blog posts, or I guess I should say newsletters, in the future. And I love how he's kind of utilizing DeSo in order to share this information.
Exactly. It's nice to have Salil posting a lot because he's a wealth of knowledge. And whether he's posting about DeSo or about other crypto areas, I think just him being here posting is important. Every post shouldn't be about DeSo. I think that's where I know that's all we do. Most of our posts are about DeSo.
And
Sometimes I
family
post some
photos.
pictures of my kids, but usually it's about DeSo. And we want to kind of get away from that. We want to talk about the crypto space. We want to talk about things that interest us. And Salil's doing that.
Yeah, and maybe Salil could use Zirkles. I wonder if he's given any thought to that, using Zirkles to write these newsletters and then sharing it with people outside of the DeSo community and bring them in, and he can earn some income by posting on Zirkles. I don't know. I don't know what his thoughts are on that, but I'm just throwing that out there. So
Yeah.
moving on, DAO. We haven't really talked about DAO too much other than the Twitter Spaces event that took place. I thought I'd cover the top 10 DAOs that have raised the money on DAO over the past 7 days. DAO has been slow, as many of us know. I think we're kind of waiting for a big event to kind of bring people onto the platform. I think core team's gearing up to do some heavy promotion of DAO, and I think they're working on their own DAOs as well. But in the last 7 days, the top DAO on DAO was Licks. They raised $1,130 in the last 7 days. Not too much, but I mean, they are the top DAO of the week. And they're followed by F'd Up Cats, GD Virtual Galleries, Altum Base, Verified Creators, Wavepool X DAO. Of course, it's for Wave Pool X by DOZ. Mysterious Ladies, Roland Sayedov, Barbie Graveyard, and Name Trade.
Yeah, it these these enforcement actions by the SEC, they do have me a little bit concerned about what the future of DAOs are going to be. But I do feel that the space will kind of evolve to suit the laws. Uh, as as crazy as the world is right now, as crazy as the crypto space is right now, I do think DAOs are going to have to kind of figure out from a legal point, if you're creating a DAO, exactly where you're going to be standing. But like Nader said, sometimes it's best to do now and ask for forgiveness later as these rules kind of come into play. You can maybe adjust your model, but it's definitely something that we have to keep in the back of our heads.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think we're going to see things evolve. I know Nader talked previously about how he thinks, you should act first and wait for the SEC to respond. And I don't know if I agree 100% with that, especially after seeing what they're doing to Coinbase. Um, you know, I don't know. I don't know what the best solution is. I think maybe working out laws with states, maybe coming to some agreement. Like I know Invest in Digital has a meeting with the Colorado governor's office. Maybe working something out with governors of states to, or even Congress within states, in order to make laws that are going to be help complement the future of DAOs, or help DAOs move forward without so many legal concerns. But what? Just wait and see.
Yeah, for sure.
So the final five Seals NFTs are being released tomorrow. I'm excited about this. I love what Seals is doing. They've been OGs here on DSO, and the final five are being released. They have some really cool creations. You can check those out at seals.nftz.me, or just go to the Seals account on DSO. Five final NFTs are being released tomorrow.
Yeah, great work by Seals. They're one of the OG series on DSO, of course. But I want talking about NFTs. I want to get to the top 10 bidders of NFTs over the last 24 hours, according to NFTZ. And they are Zia Mead, followed by Studio Richards, Shady Acres, Vindictive TJ, Chermislav Digdong, Big Mike R35, Mr. Music, La Big Mac, Tier 1 Bigums, and Dragonstone. And once again, Meta Philosopher is not on that list.
Yeah,
Uh,
what's happening,
Next, I
Metaphilosopher?
want to quickly jump to the most viewed NFT from the last 24 hours. And for the second day in a row, Mr. Person 177's Itachi Diso NFT is number one. And yesterday it actually sold to Pixel Angelo. So congrats to Pixel Angelo for picking that piece up.
Yeah, congratulations all around.
And finally, the top diamonded creators over the last 24 hours, according to Altumbase. Number one was Miami, Japan. We were number two, followed by Now and Then, Pixel Angelo, who won that NFT, Barbie Graveyard, who's been up there pretty much every day for the last couple of weeks, No Face Girl, Yuchi, Tyne, Photographer's Corner, and Pet Punk. So congrats to all those people.
Yeah, congratulations. It's good to see No Face Girl back. We mentioned she came back for the first time in, I think, 144 days yesterday. She's been making a ton of posts. It's good to have her back. So that's all the news we have for today. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.